So one day I was playing Black Ops 2 Team Deathmatch. I was talking in game chat to some random people, and all of a sudden, one player in the lobby with a strong accent said he was hosting a lobby of a weird game type that I've never heard of before. He said it was something in German, something like Spiel der Hölle. I looked this up on my laptop and it translates to Games of Hell. So, me being the curious person that I am, I said yes and I joined his game. I joined his game, and in a couple of minutes about 5 more people joined. When we got there, the map was called Hull, which translates to Hell in German. The map image looked like a creepier version of Vacant. He told us right before the game started that we don't want to lose. The game started and we were put in a long hallway with hundreds of thousands of lifeless bodies just slowly walking. The hallway was dark and there was a fire with a bunch of burning corpses, and that was the only light in the hallway. I know it sounds weird, but I could smell the burning bodies. There was a voice that also echoed throughout the hallway. The voice spoke too fast for me to write down what he had said, so I couldn't search for a translation, but the lobby leader said he was saying that if the lights go out in the hall, all the souls will be left in limbo and there will be no return to this world. He then said that we were the souls. Then after he said that, he left the game. I was so confused because this looked really cool, but also dark and creepy at the same time. There was no way I was a soul in a video game. This had to have been a joke or a really bad mod at that. I've never seen something like this at all in a Call of Duty game before. So I decided to leave the game because I was confused and kind of freaked out. But when I hit the exit button, a note popped up that said, "Once you're banished to hell, you can't escape." The other people in the lobby were freaking out. I decided that I'd had enough, so I turned off my console, but my TV didn't disconnect. I was still in the game. So, nevertheless, I decided to continue. I found one of the players and killed him, and my mic went crazy. I heard him screaming like someone was stabbing him over and over again. I quickly took my mic off and the noise was no different. I could still hear him through my TV speakers. About 30 seconds later, the screaming stopped. He disconnected from the game and the party. The same thing happened to the next 3 people. I ran and I hid somewhere and I looked and I checked for their gamer tags on Xbox Live, but it said they didn't exist. The next thing I knew, it was just me and the last guy. We talked a little bit, knowing that one of us wouldn't make it out of there alive. I looked and there was only 2 minutes left, so we both stated that we were sorry for anything that might happen to each other. The next couple of minutes we started fighting. It was a really close fight, but I got the upper hand and he lost the game. I heard the same kind of murderous screaming that the first guy had made. Then my TV powered off. I felt something strong push through my chest, my doors and my windows all open. And then my mother came in, rushing in, and hugged me and said I was playing the game for 5 days, and that she couldn't open the door. No one could. I took a long breath, and then 3 days later, I finally got back on Black Ops 2, and I'd prestiged 5 times, 1 for each soul. I called Microsoft to see what had happened. I told them the gamer tags of the people who played, as well as the host of the game. The guy at Microsoft told me that none of these players had ever registered in Xbox Live. I've never played a single game on Xbox since. It's been 4 years since I played that game called Games of Hell. I never fully told my mom what happened, not like she believed me anyway. But I did go to therapy. I talked about it, what I did. The therapist thought I was delusional. What I had to do in the game was horrible. But having no one believe you, well, that was even worse. Other than my therapist, I haven't told anyone in detail. My head is fucked up from what I've seen, heard, and did. I switched to PlayStation after the incident, somehow thinking it would be limited to just Xbox. My friend, Kobe, invited me to the new game that came out. It was Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Kobe and I go way back to middle school. He started the match finder and it loaded into Team Deathmatch. It was vacant. I hated vacant, since games of hell looked like it. The match countdown started. That's when I heard it.
I found you.
No. No. Not again. We loaded in. The hallway was bigger this time, with hundreds of thousands of bodies. I look all around me, seeing the lost souls. I found Kobe. Kobe asked me how I found him. It's kind of easy the second time around. I told him what we had to do, except for the part where only one person leaves alive. I gathered it was a full lobby of 12, so not counting us, there were 10 people we had to kill. This time in the game, people were given M16s. We traveled through the map. You could hear other players picking each other off, one by one. I saw my first victim and killed him. Kobe saw one walking through dazed and lost and picked him off. One came running at me as if he was going to knife me. I put a burst in his chest. We traveled along the hall, looking for more people. Kobe was able to spot one off in the distance, lined his sight up, and shot him. This time around, it was a slower paced match. I checked the timer and we had 7 minutes left. We had reached the end of the map. The end wasn't a wall or a gate. It was just the end. This map was suspended in air. Looking out, all I could see was just black, like a giant void.
Dies ist eine andere Dimension.
I look all around me, wondering where this voice came from. I heard shots. It must have been this guy's last few shots because he had to reload. I shot him. We spent a few minutes looking around the map, finding no one. It was just me and Kobe. That was when I told him the game wouldn't end until there was only one survivor. I told Kobe to kill me. Kobe and I talked about life, shared some laughs of the past. The timer read 30 seconds. Kobe just stared at me. I closed my eyes, fully accepting death. I heard gunfire. Kobe had killed himself instead. Just like last time, the same thing happened. I came back to the real world, sweat pouring from me. I got in my car and I drove to Kobe's apartment. I knocked on the door. Someone answered, but it wasn't him. It was someone else. The person said Kobe never lived there. The landlord said he never rented to a person named Kobe. Just like in the first game with people's gamer tags, they stopped existing, and the memories people had of them, they didn't exist anymore either. I went back to my place and tried my best to type in what the voice said to me when looking out into the void. It was German. It translated to, "This is another dimension." I'm not sure what's worse, the fact that I lost my best friend in this game, or the fact that I'm sure I'll play it again. No, the worst part is, I'm already in hell.